chocolate chips. I like chocolate chips. Okay.
You started?
I did. We're rolling. Do you want to start?
Yes.
I said, how do you want to start? How do you want to start? Yes, okay.
I thought you said, do you?
Okay, you start.
Okay. How are we starting it?
Like this?
Okay.
Perfect.
Toe the red line.
2024.
Congratulations. You have made it another year.
We lived. Damn it.
Hey, it's okay.
Get cash right there.
This is episode number 6. And all we're going to title it for now is Home. And in this new year, we're trying to become the best version of ourselves.
Yes.
And we want to make this year the best year of our lives. So how can we do that? Well, we were talking and Luke was asking me, I never really struggle with not feeling at home. Like I can sleep anywhere. Meaning like whether he's in his van, whether he's at his parents' house, some people have that feeling of home.
Yep.
And other people feel like they can't function right or they feel secluded if they're not in their home.
Yep.
Hometown, home gym, home anything.
Yep.
So you want to expand on
So when I was like for the holidays, I went home and I was driving. I had like an hour drive to get to my dad's, and it's like, okay, I'm home. It's like I haven't lived here in 7 years, but this was still home. Minnesota's still home to me, and I got to think, why is that? So first, before we do anything, where is home to you as an individual? So just think in your head, wherever that is. Where is home? Okay, now you got that location in your head. Why is that home? Right? Do you currently live there? Right? So like the last place I would consider home was when I lived in a trailer court. I grew up from 3rd grade till I graduated. I lived there. And that's still where I guess I would consider home. Like when I think in my head, that's where home is. But why? Okay, so we have a vision in our head. This is where I think home is. It's my current location. It's where I grew up. It's my parents' house. It's wherever.
something you're familiar with.
Something you're familiar, right? So what makes that home? And that was when I thought on this long drive, what makes a place home? That's what I came up with. To me, at least, it seems to make sense that it's some place you're familiar with, right? You know how to drive there without a GPS. You know where the towels are. You know you got to get a spatula. You know where this is. Everything's familiar because you've been there 80 million times.
The people you're around, you feel accepted of who you are.
Yep, everyone there knows. There's no surprises with Adam at home. Your mom knows who you are. Your brothers or whoever you're living with, right? They know you are. So being familiar, to me, seems like that's very likely where we would feel home, right? We're safe. But we go somewhere, we go to Whole Foods across the street, people don't know us. So maybe we don't feel quite as comfortable because they don't know what to expect from us. We don't know what to expect from them. We don't know where the bathroom is.
We definitely have a persona, I notice, and I'm sure other people do. You have a certain persona you have when you go to a place that you're not comfortable in.
Yep.
Or it doesn't feel like home.
Yep.
And you act a certain way and you maybe hide certain parts of you and you just kind of act not like yourself.
Yep.
And you just try to not say something wrong, but not say something that might help someone.
Yeah, just be like a chameleon. You're just there.
Just exist.
Whereas in home, obviously you have your own thoughts or likes or all that stuff, and you might feel more comfortable to express them at home, whereas you might not feel it at Whole Foods.
Or there's a risk involved if you're not at home.
Yes.
Because your mom and dad, they might punish you, but it's not going to be anything detrimental.
Yep. Yeah, like when I'm at home with my brothers, we might tell jokes that have different humor that I wouldn't say maybe here, right? Or we might speak in certain ways. This is interesting too, is think about like how you talk with your parents. Is that different? Do you use different vernacular than when you talk with your friends?
Okay.
I know I do, right? Like I'm a lot looser with my friends where I might swear a little bit more, but with my parents, I try to maybe dial that back a little bit. Right. So like we always think we're authentic, we're being our authentic selves, and it's not true. It's not true at all. We're different versions of ourselves in many different areas. But, so back down to home, okay, we'd read a stat. What percentage of people have never left their hometown? This is Americans.
1/3.
1/3 have never left their hometown. That's crazy, man. It's half have never left their home state.
Half have never left the state.
Yeah. So to me, that's crazy. But in saying that, as people are listening to this, who's never left their hometown and who's never left their home state, okay? Once again, nothing's good or bad. You might have a great hometown, a great home state. Why have we not left there? What's the reasoning behind that, right? So if this plant, right, is our home, and this is where we've been always and where we feel familiar and where we feel comfortable and we can be authentic, great. But that means any other place, we don't have that same feeling. Is that good, right? We're taking the whole world and we're bringing it to this one spot, right? I don't know if that's good.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have to be where you are, but it's the things you use, or if you always run at a certain speed on the treadmill, or you never grab a heavier weight, because that feels like home. You're comfortable, you're familiar with that weight. You don't know the feeling that the other weights bring. There's a feeling of unknown with a place that doesn't feel like home. But it doesn't mean that place can't feel like home eventually.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that other place might not even be better, right? That might serve us better. Like we might feel comfortable at home, but are we growing? Are we becoming a better self? We might feel comfortable running our base at 4.6, but if we're capable, should we be running at 4.8? Should we be doing, better speeds with the weight room? I feel good, when I'm benching 15s. When I bench 20s, I don't feel as good. But what's going to give us the better response and make us a better athlete, make us a stronger individual?
Yeah.
So home, familiarity, where we feel comfortable, it's, I don't want to say it.
It can be a location, but it also can be a decision or action.
Yes.
Choosing a certain thing that either brings that home feeling, or choosing a certain thing that brings us outside of that home feeling.
Yep. And it's not bad. Like I said, this spot might not be bad, right? It might be great. But we talked about this, I think, last episode or 2 episodes ago, about like what we eat, right? I like these things and I eat these things, great. Do you ever eat outside those things? No. I don't like that thing, great. Have you ever tried it? No. It's like, well, how do you know you don't like it if you've never tried it, right? How do you know if you're here, how do you know you don't like the ocean, or you don't like mountains, or you don't like whatever, right? So are we saying we like here because we've experienced all these other things and this is what we like the most? Or are we saying we like here because going out there makes me feel bad, makes me feel uncomfortable? And I think for most people, it's that, right? It's not that we necessarily like here, it's just this is what we know.
So the harsh truth is, our title is Toe the Red Line. We want to expand our experiences, and how can you ever expand your experience and get better as a person and understand things, whether you fail, mess up, are put in an uncomfortable situation, you'll never know unless you move out of that home feeling or comfort zone.
Agreed. And like you said a couple minutes ago, if we're used to here, okay, but now we come over here, after a while, we're going to get fairly comfortable there, okay, and then we go over here, we're going to get fairly comfortable there. We can still go back here, and we'll still feel fairly comfortable. And what if we go? But like the more we do things, okay, the more familiar we get with all these different experiences, the better we feel we're in that position. I was talking to Adam beforehand, and we were talking about there's a guy at a circus who's a lion tamer, right? Maybe didn't feel comfortable the first time, but I'm sure he feels fine now.
Or coaching.
Right? Or coaching, yeah. First time it's like, I'm so nervous. Am I going to screw up? Am I going to get the timing wrong? All these things. But after you've done it, you get more comfortable. Mm-hmm. So being familiar with an expansive area or expansive experiences or expansive activities, you can get familiar. You just got to get there. You got to get in these other things. We might not feel great the first time or the second time, but every single time it'll feel a little bit better, right? We'll get a little more comfortable because it's not unknown anymore. We know what it's like to make a mistake on timing, or we know what it's like to get in the ocean or to climb up a mountain and you have less oxygen, right? But humans have a great ability to adapt, but you can't adapt unless you get into it a little bit.
And understanding your repercussions of that environment, whether it feels like home yet or soon to be. I know when I was coaching or learning to coach, and I would maybe mess up something, I would own up to it.
Yep.
And it's not like the class starts grabbing things to come smack me, or they all leave.
Yep.
They're fine. So, and then I understand, okay, I shouldn't be afraid or nervous to mess up. Plus, I still learn from that experience.
Yep.
So it's like a win-win. You understand that, okay, the repercussions in my head aren't as bad as how I'm envisioning them.
Yep.
So therefore I can keep pushing myself outside of my comfort zone.
Yep. Yeah. So don't make these new experiences bigger or smaller than they actually are, right? Because, like I said, I think most people avoid these other areas, not because this is the best, but because they've created this mountain of what could go wrong. I don't go to the ocean because I get eaten by a shark. Not many people get eaten by sharks.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not that common of a thing. So don't make it bigger than it needs to be.
Right.
Now, if you choose you don't want to go to the ocean or whatever, that's great. But if we're not choosing, if we're just saying, I'm scared, so I'm not going to go into that, so I don't like that, so everything that I like is right here, that's a scary, because your world's going to get real small real quick. Now, if you've went and tried all these other things, and it's like, you know what, I like living in the mountains the best, or I like a warmer climate, or I like eating this type of cuisine, that's great. You're choosing that now.
Right.
Don't pigeonhole yourself because you won't try anything else.
Right.
That's not good.
And trying to remember what I was going to say.
Always gotta hit the button. One thing is we're trying to not say like or as much.
We've probably already,
I've
we
said it a
haven't,
million.
going forward, the rest of this podcast will be more aware of that.
And try to hit the dumbass button. But
Yes, the dumbass button. I was going to say, with
that you completely lost.
the, okay, I got it. Ready?
Perfect.
Okay. Being comfortable in your own skin.
Okay.
I feel like that applies to the home feeling.
Agreed.
So if we're more comfortable with who we are and what we present, and we don't always think about what other people are going to say about us,
Yep.
or think about us, we can be our true self and feel comfortable no matter where we are, because we're not affected by other people's opinions or anything, really.
Yeah, and we feel comfortable that if there is a new problem that we may not have experienced in this new environment, we can still solve it because we solved other problems in similar fashions in other places, right? Like you take LeBron James, right? LeBron James, I bet you if someone said, you want to go play football? Probably feels pretty comfortable, right? He's an athlete, he can piece it together, right? Maybe he didn't play as much football, but I'm sure he can piece it
He was
together.
pretty good, actually, in high school. Yeah.
What did he play? What position?
I think he was wide receiver.
Wide receiver? Okay.
Yeah.
But because he's an athlete, he could be probably pretty proficient in almost any other athletic. He might not be the best, but he's probably going to be pretty proficient.
He also understands, after going past his comfort zone through that sport, he's like, man, I can just apply this to another skill.
Yeah.
You know? So even if there's something you enjoy, keep pushing yourself outside of that home feeling.
Yeah.
Or speed or anything.
Yeah. We can see this with a lot of athletes, not all athletes, but a lot of athletes after their athletic career find success in other areas. But like I said, they know how to work. They know how to push their body, or even their being, their mind, their body beyond something where they can be comfortable being uncomfortable. So they find success selling George Foreman grills. Or Mike Tyson, no matter what anybody thinks about him.
Mike who?
Mike
Tyson?
Mike Tyson. I was gonna say, so you know Mike Tyson, right? But like came from like as low as you're gonna get, right? Very, very rough upbringing. Brought himself to the top, the pinnacle of sports. Lost it all. Brought himself to the top in a completely other field, which is wild. Like he was doing it wasn't like a Broadway, but was doing like a show on his life, and now I think he's running a pot farm somewhere in Colorado, like a retreat, right? But for someone to go from the bottom to the top, back to the bottom, back to the top in a completely different field is almost unheard of.
You learn a lot from going to the bottom.
Yes.
Probably learn the most.
Yeah. You get, like, someone asked me one time, it's like, if you have a choice to raise your family, right? So say you have kids, and you get a chance to raise them upper middle class or abject poverty, I think I'm choosing abject poverty, because at least they'll understand what it's like to be there, and they can function from there. Whereas I think there's a lot of times people in upper middle class that have no idea what this is, and they think they know, and it's like, trust me, you don't know. It's
Tough
not.
times create strong men. Easy times create weak men.
Agreed. And at least you're hungry. You at least know what it's like to strive. Because if you don't have that feeling, if someone goes from the bottom and makes it to the middle, they can do it again, for sure. But if you are here and you've never been here, there's a chance you drown. You're here, you're floating, life is good, have hard times, it's over. But if you've been here and you've got to here, it's like, well, I can do it again. It's not that big a deal.
So applying the feeling of home. Think about the next time you're in an environment that doesn't necessarily, you don't feel comfortable.
Yep.
You can tell you're not being your true self. Maybe you're nervous. shy, awkward.
Yep.
You're not doing certain things that you would probably do at home or saying certain things.
Yep.
Think about why.
Yep. Why? So first of all, I'm at a new party with new people and I feel uncomfortable. Okay, why do I feel uncomfortable? Acknowledge that. I don't know anybody. Okay, so go meet some people, right? Go talk to people. Like talking to people here and talking to people here as in like Orange Theory where I know people and talking to people Whole Foods, it's the same exact skill set, right? Like I'm not speaking Japanese over there and I'm speaking American here. It's the same thing. Just go talk to different people. Now, you're gonna have to find some common ground and all that kind of stuff, but you had to do it with all the people you know now anyways. Like we've done it before, just gotta go do it again. You
Just
know?
applying it to a person that you don't know yet.
That's all it is.
Continue doing that.
Yes. Yeah. And we do that all day long. Everyone right now, think you got your friends at work. Who's your friend at work? You didn't know that person 3 months before you started work. You obviously talked with them. There was interaction. You guys, you figured it out and you became friends. But now all of a sudden we see another new person. It's like, well, this person I'll never get along. It's like, well, why? You don't even know. Go talk with them. Maybe they're a dick, but maybe they're great. Maybe you can
Acknowledging that there is going to maybe be a little bit of awkwardness and being okay with that.
Yeah.
Because that's okay. You're probably going to be really sore after your first workout ever.
Yep.
Or a first hard workout in a long time.
Yep.
That's okay. You got to just continue showing up.
Yep. And the more we do that in novel, new places, the better we'll feel doing it to the next time when we go somewhere and we have no idea. If you can go talk at Whole Foods, I guarantee you can go over to the mall and talk with people. And if you talk to the mall people, guess what? You can probably go over to Mississippi and talk with people, right? And then you can go to New York. It's like, it's the same thing. You're just doing it in multiple new environments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your hat, sometimes I
don't even know where it is.
Forget you're wearing a hat.
I forgot that I'm wearing it too. But yeah, so home, where do you feel best? Why do we feel best there? And how can we take that feeling and expand it on a broader, whether it's a geographical location or in different avenues, different activities. I feel good when I'm lifting weights, but I don't feel good on the treads. Okay, why? Well, think about it. Why do we not feel good there? How can we feel better?
Yeah.
Right? So any area that we feel good, see if we can take that and get it to start blending into broader areas.
And chase that reason. If you don't feel good on the treads, you probably should do that more.
Yes.
Doing more things that we don't feel comfortable doing, the more, like you said, the more comfortable we feel with multiple things, we can understand things better.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're just eating chicken nuggets all day. I feel good with chicken nuggets. I'm just gonna eat chicken nuggets every day. You gotta get out. You're not a sushi guy, are you?
No, not really.
We're gonna do a suit. You got a bad experience?
Yeah.
You gotta get back on the horse.
Okay, I'll get back on the horse.
Sushi's pretty good. But I think we're gonna end on that.
Episode 6.
Sace. Celebrate.
Never forget, toe the red line. Also, make sure to leave a review if you're on YouTube. Like it, subscribe. Our goals. What's our goals for the new year?
Well, our goal last year was to do 8 episodes. Things got kind of crazy at the end of the year, as they do. But I don't know what our new goals. We're gonna get
subscribers, maybe Instagram and Spotify followers.
Yeah, and also just improve on the whole process.
Yeah,
we still don't know what we're doing. So
numbers wise, what's our goal?
7,500.
Okay. Of each
on every single one. Exactly. On
All
every
right.
single one. That's
episode 6, guys. Happy New Year.
Expand ourselves.
Yes.
Woo!
Sweet.